All right, back again. So I've got Joe Emerson here, sold out in California with us for this most recent 2023 summer. And Joe was basically our top rookie, right under number two from an Indianapolis rep. You guys were pretty much the exact same revenue, shy of a couple grand. So congratulations on your success this summer, Joe. But one thing I want to ask you kind of right off the rip is how did you feel coming out for a summer of door-to-door sales, having basically zero experience in door-to-door, and to my knowledge, not much sales experience to begin with? How was kind of your feelings heading into the summer?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, my my manager, uh, he did a whole presentation from my fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, I was in a personal development stage, trying to grow as a person and try to gain skills. So when he said that, I just hopped on it and just listened to exactly what he told me to do, and I just did it on the doors. So my family was a little against it at first, but it was my decision to make, and I just went all in, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess talk to me a little bit about the family aspect of it, because I think for guys kind of just getting involved in this and looking to potentially get involved in door to door for the very first time, not having ever done it before. What were those conversations like, and ultimately what led you to just kind of make that decision on your own and end up coming out and doing really well?
So I knew from the get go I never wanted to live like a 9 to 5 job, retirement. My family has struggled with money their whole life, following the
Hmm.
same principles, and for me, I just want to get outside my comfort zone. And you know, if my manager told me, "Hey, if you do exactly what I tell you to do, you'll hit 100K." I said, "Well, what do I have to lose? Valuable skills." So, I
Right.
mean, just knocking on 100 doors a day, having 50 people answer the door, 48 people say no, get two yeses a day. It starts to compound, and you start to get confident, and that's just that's just what happened. I did exactly what my manager told me to do. I rocked with it. I trusted him, and it worked out. So my family
Yeah, I think
said,
that's great.
my family, told me, "Hey, it's a scam. Don't do it." I said, "Well, even if it is a scam, what's the worst thing that can happen? I go back home with no money, and I had a great adventure in California with great people, and I just did what I was told to do, and I made some good money." So
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Well, kind of building on that, did you have any kind of concerns before coming out for your very first summer? Obviously, never done this before.
I did, but for me, I'm in charge of fundraising for my fraternity, so it's my job to get sponsorships from other businesses. So even before I went door to door, I saw the possibilities of just soliciting businesses, just asking for help. And what I learned is the worst thing you can do is ask, and there's people who are willing to give. So I just thought the exact same thing would happen door to door, and I was right.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of funny how those are pretty similar parallels for sure.
yeah.
Perfect. So when you got out there for the summer, talk to me about one or two highlights that you experienced that maybe you weren't expecting to.
Oh man. Um. Well, I think the guys who came out there were really good. I think, especially when you're knocking 6 days a week, half day on Saturday, being around good, positive guys who keep everything together, really like make it work. and also just a numbers game, really, just knowing that one day you could get no sales, but the next thing you get 10.
Right.
And then it kind of just starts to compound, and then you just start to name drop, and before you know it, you're starting to close a lot more people, and your confidence starts to go up. And it's just my job was just to maintain it, just consistency, and I thought I was pretty consistent. I tried
Hmm.
to try my best to too low on the lows, just, take it one door at a time, and just do the trainings I was to do.
Yeah, that's great. You broke up a little bit there, but I think I understood most of what you said. Um, how do you think you? I guess kind of segueing into this part. I had met you a couple times before you came out for the summer, and I noticed that you did have some confidence in yourself and kind of the way that you carried yourself. But talk to me about how the summer either changed you as a person or just kind of reinforced some things that you thought about yourself or believed in yourself.
It definitely reinforced what I thought.
Hmm.
I love to read like self-help books, business books. I loved self-improvement books, and it talked a lot about this. Just door-to-door sales. Um, just if you're willing to put in the work will pay you well. So I just jumped right into it and wanted to see for myself if it was true, and it was. And for anyone out there who's kind of in the same boat I am, I just say go for it. Take a leap of
Hmm.
faith, and I'd rather fail than live a mediocre life my whole life not knowing what could have happened.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great mindset to have, and that's probably, actually not probably, that is why you were successful because you do have that mindset. What were some of the one or two of the hardest things that you experienced over the summer?
Oh, fatigue.
Yeah.
You know, um, I was out there for about 3 months, and the first month good, second month starting to feel it, and the last month it's a drag for sure. So just don't overcomplicate it. I would just, for me, what worked is just when I got back home, just tracked everything I did and just like read a page, you know, and then go to bed, wake up, listen to my zeros, listen to what I heard, and just break it down, write it down, and just stay consistent. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, take a break, get the guys together and try to get my mind off of work for a little bit and just get through it, you know?
Yeah.
Keep your head down and get through it. And just know, for me, I'm glad I finished strong because really the big paydays like the very last month, just like compounding, just just like the extra commission boost and everything, just like pushing through is really when the big money comes. So I'm glad stuck through it, and finished strong. And yeah,
Yeah, no, that's perfect, and that's a great kind of example of why finishing the summer strong is one of the most important things. So you kind of mentioned in that response at the front of it that you basically worked about 3 months, and based off of your production, you're basically set to make anywhere in between like 30 or 40,000. Is that correct?
yeah, it's around there.
So talk to me about how does that make you feel um, after kind of having some people kind of doubt what you were going to do, and really not knowing if it was going to pan out, to now knowing that it did pan out, and because of the fact that you put in that work, you were able to make that amount of money in a summer as a college student.
Well, at the very beginning when I started my trainings with Chris, my manager, he just said, "Hey, if you do exactly what I do, you're gonna make 100K in red, and
Hmm.
take 30K home." And I was like, "Okay." So I did exactly what he told me to do, and that's what I got. And now I'm just ready for next year to amp up training, and also you know like focus on getting good guys out there to help produce. Because at the end of the day, being out there with guys who are negative or bringing you down isn't really what I want to be around. It's not good for the team. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I guess how does that make you feel though that you were able to
it's
make
it's
that
it's
amount of money?
it's a good feeling. For me, it was never about the money. I don't get me wrong. It's you know getting a lot of money is great,
Hmm.
but for me, I did more of the growth aspect of it.
Right.
I straight up said if I make no money, I'm still gonna stick through it simply because of the skill set I would gain from it. But just having the confidence, my manager and his past experiences, I was confident I was gonna do it, and so I'm ecstatic that I did. That I trusted my manager and took the leap of faith. Because otherwise, I don't know what I would have done over the summer.
Right.
But it's a really good feeling putting in the work and getting the result and trusting the process. It's always just day by day. It's about the journey, never the destination. How can I gain a skill set that's going to, compound years from now? And
Absolutely.
that's what I'm proud of. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. No, that's great. If there was one thing that you wish you were told before the summer started, what is that thing that you wish you were told before coming into it?
Oh man. Um, I was pretty much told everything. I was
Right.
pretty much told everything. They're like, hey, you can never train hard enough. It's spot on. You can never train too much. I mean, all the objections, all the smoke screens that we were taught, exactly the same thing on the doors. Literally, like you can think it's BS, but I can tell you firsthand, it's exactly those. So
Right.
the trainings that Hawks provides is exceptional. It's best to none, literally. Like
Yeah.
from me not knocking a door to the end of the summer and doing the trainings before, not knowing what to expect, it's the exact same thing as what you train for. The
Hmm.
only difference is you're just talking to, you know, 50 different people a day, knocking on 100 different doors a day. And, um, yeah, so.
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's great that a lot of guys come into it. Um, when we kind of give them that advice of like you can't overtrain, all of this stuff will happen. Some of them just don't really believe it at the start of it. But the fact that you were able to kind of just trust that mentorship and the trainings definitely gave you kind of an upper hand. Um, so if you were to restart your very first summer with the knowledge that you have now, is there anything you would change or improve
uh,
for your first summer?
just be sharper,
Yeah.
be quicker. I mean,
Hmm.
it's, especially being out so long, you start to get a drag a little bit. Um, just push through, just stay sharp. Um, just train, like with your manager as much as you possibly can. And what helped me was just looking in the mirror and going over the pitch over and over and over again. Really helped. Um, but yeah, just being sharp. I'd say I
Yeah.
just say be sharper, be quicker. Um, knock more
So
down.
how would you do that if you were to restart your first summer? How do you think you would be
So,
able to do that?
so pretty much just train double the amount I did.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Hmm.
I was training about an hour a day, whether it was just writing down the script, whether it was rehearsing it in the mirror. You know, what I would have done just double down, do 2 hours a day, and just use my manager as much as possible. which I pretty much did. I was on I was on the phone with my manager like every single day, but
Yep.
just don't take advantage of the time you have before summer starts and just really just train over and over and over again because it's gonna it's gonna compound, especially when the summertime comes.
Absolutely. And if you were to rate the summer on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it was much harder than you had expected, 1 being it was way easier than you expected, and
And
a 5 would be like it was exactly as you expected it.
I'd say a 5. Yeah, it was exactly how I expected. I knew at the end of the summer I was gonna be dragging. I sure did, and you know, um, just how I thought of it was if they're training me to do something, they must know something.
Right.
So I kind of assumed they'd be saying this stuff, and they did. So
Hmm.
it was actually spot on the 5, exactly what I expected it to be.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, lastly, what's 1 or 2 pieces of advice you'd give to somebody that's brand new, never done it before, and they're kind of gearing up, getting ready to go out for their first summer?
You know what? Also, what I would tell someone new to do is look at bug videos. Get your
Yeah.
bug knowledge up. I didn't do that well enough. I should have. So my manager told me to, and I really didn't do as much as I should have. I was more focused on the pitch, but what I
Hmm.
learned is if you're just focused on the pitch, you start to sound robotic, and once you start to sound robotic, it's a turnoff, to the potential customer. So what I would say is just get to know your why. Why are you there? Why are you knocking on this person's door? Do you see them as a paycheck? Or do you see them as helping their problem?
Hmm.
If you come off as you're trying to help with their problem, you do just from what I learned from my experience, you can do way better. Because people can feed off that. People can feed off your intention, what you're wanting to do. So have good intention, know your why, and yeah, watch bug videos. Like, just understand like what you're selling, I guess,
Yep.
and get sold on what you're selling. If you're not sold on the product yourself, the numbers will show.
Hmm.
So if anytime, like let's just say during the summer too, you're not quite sure why you're selling, just get to know your why. I think that's most important, and sell yourself on what you're selling because at the end of the day, you're selling a service that people need. There are spiders, there are bugs that people want to get rid of. You're just there to help them with that solution. So
Absolutely.
you're not a burden to anyone. Even if someone is having a bad day, they're working, like just push through, push through, push through. You're there to help. You're not there to take advantage, and just keep it to that.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate it. That's all I had for you today. Thank you for hopping on this call on a Monday. But we will talk very soon. And I look forward to kind of building with you and seeing your success from here.
Appreciate it, Donald. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. See ya.